We've been excited about the Link's Awakening remake since the day it was announced, and ladies and gentlemen, it is finally here. Is it everything we hoped it would be? And should you pick it up for yourself if you haven't already done so? That's what we want to talk about today on the Freeplay Podcast.
You are listening to the Freeplay Podcast with Bubba Stallcup, Matt Warmbier, and Kate Katawaki, part of the Love Thy Nerd podcast network.
What's up, nerds? My name is Kate Katawaki, and I am the chief social media nerd here at Love Thy Nerd, and you are listening to the Freeplay Podcast.
The Freeplay Podcast.
Part of the Love Thy Nerd podcast network.
Podcast network.
And joined with me, as always, is our chief outreach nerd, Matt Warmbier.
Matt Warmbier. What's up, everybody?
It's great.
Thanks.
I was trying to not laugh and just let it flow, but it brought too much joy to my soul, and I let a little chuckle
Sometimes
out.
you just feel inspired. Sometimes you have a song in your heart, and you just have to let it out. You gotta sing from the heart.
I completely agree.
It's great to be here. Well, in your case, it'd be like drummy drum from the heart, and don't
from the
chew
heart.
don't chew your fingernails.
Drum. I've been trying to break the habit.
Let's
it's
talk about
extremely hard.
when did you start chewing your fingernails?
As long as I can remember.
I chew mine off sometimes too, but I don't try to chew them to a length where it's gross looking, but just to a point where they're.
Well, it looks like before when I was way worse at it, it looked like all my fingers got smashed in a door.
Congratulations.
So now let's see, out of 5 fingers, 4 of them look normal.
Okay, pretty good.
I'm looking right now at one hand.
It's mine. We'll take
yours look normal.
We'll take photos of our fingers and put them in the.
Just take my word for it, everyone. They look normal.
Yeah. Well, debatable.
It's fine.
It's great.
It's just hard. I can't break it. So see, that's why I'm like, okay, I'm really struggling with this, trying to break the habit. It's almost been a year of me trying to not do it. And they say that if you don't do it for 30 days or something, then you're free.
That's a lie. That's
you're
a
home
lie.
free.
Absolute
but I found
lie.
that to be false. So now it's like, okay, out of the
They meant 30 years. When you get to 30 years, you're free.
maybe 30 years.
Yeah.
So out of 10 fingers, if I chew my nails on 2 of them, that's better than all of them, right? Just 2.
How do your toenails look?
Normal.
Normal, like chewed or?
No.
Okay.
I draw the line at that.
Well, they're harder to chew. I gotcha. Tougher or more
Yeah,
fibrous.
yes, and it's just they're farther away from your mouth and your hands.
What are we even talking about? It's good to be here.
It's fine.
It's good to be
It's
here.
fine.
It's fine. We talk about what we want. You don't like it? You can fast forward a little bit, and we'll be still talking about it.
It'll still be the same thing. Sorry, not sorry.
Hey, we're missing Bubba again, and
Are we?
well, I
don't
mean,
miss him.
his voice is not here, and
I hope he hears this. I don't miss him.
He knows already. It's not a surprise.
I'm just kidding. I do miss
He'll
Bubba.
be back one day. We don't know when. Probably
October.
We won't have an episode next week because LTNCon next week. We'll talk more about that here in a minute.
We will. In a second.
And Bubba and I will be getting together early to do some Bread Bros or stuff. Bread Bros, Beard Bros stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think after that week, we'll kind of be back on schedule, I hope, with all 3 of us.
I think so. I don't want to say for sure because, I don't want to jinx it.
I don't know if that's how it works, but
I'll say I'm pretty sure Bubba's coming back soon.
yeah. Well, until then, you get us too.
Yeah, if
And
you have
our
any complaints,
chewy
email Bubba at
nails.
lovethynerd.com.
Yep.
Send your complaints there,
Yeah.
and we'll.
No, actually, if you would post on his Facebook and tag us to it, your complaint, that's what we want you to do. Bubby Stallcup.
Just search Bubby Stallcup. He'll be the first one that shows up.
Hey, speaking of coming up and showing up, this December, the 6th through the 8th, we are going No, that's not right.
Oh, it's the 8th,
It's the
huh? I
8th,
keep
yeah.
putting. Why do I keep putting the
That's
9th?
not
Sorry.
right. No, hey, I was right. The 6th to the 8th in Philadelphia, we, Love Thy Nerd, will be attending PAX Unplugged. And this will be the 3rd year of PAX Unplugged. And last year was better than the first year. I'm going to stop playing with this money I found on the desk. It's probably clinky.
Money? You have money?
Not real money. This will be a 3rd year for us attending. And it's only gotten better the past couple of years, like 1 year to 2 years. So I imagine this year will be even better. And I want you to come with me to this convention. And I want you to come with Love Thy Nerd. We're looking for ways to love and serve our nerdy neighbors while we're there. And we want you to be a part of that. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me, Matt at Love Thy Nerd. If you just want to go to our website, you can go to lovethynerd.com/outreach. We go to these conventions across the U.S. and we play games with people. We hang out with people and get to know them. We build relationships because people are lovable and they deserve to be loved. And us just sitting down and playing a game with them and listening to them is huge. And we want to be friends with people and we want to show them Christ's love through all of that. So if you have any questions, let me know. If you want to go, hook it up. Let me know. Let's do this thing.
Preach,
brah.
Okay.
We're almost to Halloween here. And Kate has a spooky story. A scary, spooky story. When you tell it, I want you to like get really into the mic, like really close. Like what's
and make it scary and yeah. Okay, so I told Matt that I had a scary story that happened to me. It happened last week.
Can you talk more scary?
So it happened last week.
That's better.
And I've never had this happen to me before. Okay, so I was sleeping.
Yeah, that sounds
right. I was
you've
sleeping.
Been sleeping
it was
before. Yeah, I know.
It was nighttime. I was awakened at 11:45 p.m. by a noise.
What was the noise?
That was unfamiliar to me. So my room is right next to this room that I'm recording in, which is like my little office.
Yeah.
So I could hear the noise. There was a noise, and I thought it was maybe the printer. 'Cause sometimes the printer makes weird noise at night, like it cleans itself.
What was the noise?
It sounded. Hold on.
I'm ready.
This is important. What I'm getting. It sounded like this.
Like crumbling paper.
Like that, and then there was some like
scratching noise. Like crumbling paper
did you even
and
hear
a
it?
little bit. I just knew what you were going to be doing.
Well, I tried to turn my mic upside
Yeah,
down
it's.
here. So
I
this
heard
was
that.
not a normal sound for this office room, right? So I woke up. I was so scared. I was like, "Ah," and I said, "Stephen, do you hear that noise next door in the office?" And he said, "Oh, it's to the printer."
So he thought the same thing, yeah.
He thought it was the printer, and he went back to sleep. But I know for a fact it was not the printer. So I got my little iPhone light, and I came in here to see what it was. And it was clear that it was happening in here, and it was so loud. And then when I got in the room, it went silent.
Was it a mouse?
Well, I don't know. I ran back into my room.
And you put your head under your covers.
Yeah, and I got scared. And then it was silent, and then I went back to sleep. Then at 2 a.m., I know this because I checked my phone in case it was a murderer, and I'd have to give a police report.
Right, yeah, good idea.
I heard the noise again, so I let my dog out of her crate and told her to go get it and kill it, whatever it was. And so she comes running into this room and goes straight to the grate here.
Oh.
Like the heater vent. And I'm like, oh, there's a monster down there.
In there.
Oh, there's a murderer in the grate under the house. So long story short, the next day we're like, there's an animal in there. We put 2 rat traps. I put a rat trap right next to took the grate off of the floor here
Big
and put a rat trap down, and then I put a trash can over it so it was completely covered, and I weighted down the trash can that was over it.
I don't know.
So that a rat or a possum or whatever, a murderer, couldn't move it. They would just get stuck in the trap, the murderer. Well, turns out one of the traps that we put outside near like the human grate to go under the house.
The vent grate?
Yeah.
Okay.
The trap was gone.
What do you mean gone?
It wasn't there. It was the location of the trap had moved by itself. So I was like, there's a possum under the house and it's going to kill us.
Did you find the trap?
Yes. I searched with a flashlight and I found the trap.
It was under the house.
And it was under the house, and there was a rat in the trap, and its nose had gotten snapped in the trap.
I don't like that.
And I felt really bad for it, and it's like, okay, here's the murderer. It was a rat. I felt bad for it, so I crawled into the house to get it, and then I get up to it, and before this, I shined a light at it. I made a bunch of noise to see if it was still alive,
and there was flipped out, didn't he?
There was no indication that it was alive. So I get up to it to grab the trap, and then all I hear is like that.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
It was still freaking alive, and I just couldn't believe it. So then I pulled it out, and Steven had to shoot it with a little BB gun, and it was so sad. And then it was still alive after that.
Was this a ghost?
It was a rat.
No, was the rat a ghost, and that's why it was still alive?
No, but it eventually did die. But really, it was like 3 nights of being really scared because I thought there was a possum under the house. And really, it was a rat. And I tried to help it out of this world humanely, and it wouldn't go. So
it wasn't its time. When I was a kid, I was always scared that a rat was going to climb up into the toilet, into the house, like through the water.
You said that just as I took a sip of my lemon.
It was
water.
Probably a year of like this fear of going to the bathroom before I realized.
Come out through the water.
Because I heard a story, like it was probably like in New York or something. I'm like living in the country with well water. There's no rats in the underground my house, like under my house in the pipes. So like this whole year of me being afraid to go to the bathroom and like opening the toilet and having a rat be right there. It's never happened, by the way.
Well, I'm sure in some places it does happen, but I don't know. I just really wanted to tell you that story because I was seriously so scared when I heard that noise. And I came in this room like, oh, I don't know what to expect.
Don't rats know that people sleep at night and they don't want to be bothered? That's rude.
I've never had one under the house. Like, we had a rat infestation outside, and they never came in the house. So I'm like, what's going on here? Are there baby rats underneath the house right now?
You put some...
In the heating ducts?
Did you put, like, rat poison under there?
No.
You may want to.
But they're babies. They're going to die without their mom.
No, rats are resilient. One got shot in the head and still wanted to live, all right? Come on.
That's true. I mean, I thought for sure that someone had broken into the house and was in my office crumpling paper.
This will teach her having all this paper in here.
I can't even remember the last time I was that scared, honestly.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
The rat, by the way, was pulling up the insulation in there. It was ripping it and shredding it.
Oh, what a jerk.
And scratching the little, what's it called? The tubing. So that's my scary story. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks for sharing. I'm glad you're safe.
Thank you. It was really a terrifying time of life. So I'm just glad I made it through. But on that note, let's talk about what we've been playing. And why don't you go first since I just told this story?
Okay.
Yeah, you go first.
I will say I have played a ton of Link's Awakening, but we are going to talk more about that here later in the show. So I won't go deep into that. But I did get a chance to play a game from Restoration Games called Unmatched, which, do you know about Restoration Games, Kate?
I know about it because I have tagged them on our social media.
Restoration Games takes games that they call like kind of deserve a second chance. So it's a game that they feel that can be remade and redone and then brought back to life. So they've done games like Downforce and Fireball Island, like just games that are older that still can be brought back to life and people will really enjoy them. So this game's called Unmatched. And it originally was a Star Wars duel game, which I never played, and I wish I had because, I'm a Star Wars boy. But I didn't play it, so I didn't know anything about it. Unmatched is like, imagine mythological fantasy characters, but also some real life characters and what would happen if they fought. It reminds me a little bit of like, what's the game? Super Fight? Is that the game Super Fight where you had to debate? This is no debating. It's like a card playing game. So like Same kind of thing, like mythological, like who would win in a fight. So the base game comes with Medusa, King Arthur, Alice from Wonderland, and Sinbad, not the actor, the pirate. Don't be confused there. And then there's an expansion that has Robin Hood and Bigfoot, and all of these can be played together. And there is I believe it's a con exclusive of Bruce Lee, and Bruce Lee has been, well,
there he is.
He's gotten it all handed to him. He hasn't won me a match yet, but he's a lot of fun to play. So I was able to play 3 times over this past weekend with the kids, and I didn't win one time. I couldn't do it. I couldn't pull it off. I even beat us every time. Bruce Lee was just real close. There's a couple times I was super close. But it's been a super
close, but no cigar.
Close, but no Bruce Lee win. And if you're going to be at LTN Con, I'm going to bring this game as well as Power Rangers because people like to play games and they want to play those games. So, super fun game. Bubba was able to go to Mondo Con in, I think it was in Austin.
I think it was a
couple weeks ago, and that's where he picked us up and sent it my way. So we're actually going to be doing a Beard Bros episode about Unmatched here in the next month, I would say. So be on the lookout for that. And if you don't know what Beard Bros is, because we've been on this little bit of a break, Bubba and I, typically we do a live show every Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern, and we review and chat and talk about a tabletop game and kind of talk about the ins and outs. And then usually Saturday, my wife and I, Erin, we will play the game live, and then we will give away a copy to somebody, and that show's called Co-Optional. Some rules, normal tag and share rules, but yeah, we hope to get those back both going here in the next month or so. It's just end of summer has been rough, I think, on all of us. There's just so much going on.
Yeah. It's been a summer.
It has been a summer.
It has definitely been a summer.
And I think that's all I've actually played in the past while, besides Link's Awakening, which we will talk about soon. But Kate, you have been playing a game.
Yes. I have also been playing Link's Awakening. I just bought it last night at the time of this recording. We'll talk about it in a second.
Okay.
But one of my whole things was I really want Link's Awakening, but I really want to finish this other game first, Greedfall. And I did say to you, if by some miracle I finish Greedfall this weekend, I will buy Link's Awakening.
And you did it.
And it happened. It happened. So it was meant to be. But yes, I finished Greedfall, which... What did I rate it earlier?
You said... Okay,
7 out of 10 Kates.
You said...
8 out of 10 Kates.
You said... Well, it was good. It was really good. I wouldn't give it 10, but I wouldn't give it a 5. So, I mean, it's an 8.
Yeah, exactly. So there you have it. And it was good. But like Chris said, whenever that was, it doesn't have a certain polish to it, which makes sense. It's not a AAA game. But it really scratched that itch for me of kind of choice-based RPG, Dragon Age-esque, but not as in-depth and as polished as that. But if you're looking for something in that same vein, I would recommend Greedfall. It was
it on PlayStation?
$50. Yeah, I played it on PlayStation. I'm pretty sure it's not an exclusive. It's available other places as well. So pick it up. At first, and I think the first time I talked about it on this podcast, I was kind of like, about it.
I think it took you a little bit to get into.
It did. It took me a little bit to get into, and then all of a sudden I was like hooked on it and the story and all the cool stuff in it. It's just different, and I liked that differentness.
I wish the price point was a little cheaper.
Of that game?
Maybe. How many hours you put into it?
A lot. Probably at least 30.
Okay.
I'm guessing. I should have looked it up. I just hate how we've said this before. PlayStation sucks and doesn't tell you in a clear way how many hours. Hey, Mr. PlayStation,
if you wouldn't mind just changing that, I want to see how many hours I've played games. I feel like that's something you can do in the past.
In a quick and easy way. I just want to see. But yeah, the only thing I wish had been different is, a little bit more in depth on certain things, a little bit more polished, but for a small studio doing this kind of thing, they really accomplished a lot.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't want to get like too spoilery in case somebody wants to play it, but there was just a couple points in the story that completely changed it for me where I'm like, okay, now I'm really intrigued. And then I'm even more intrigued.
I know absolutely nothing about this game.
It's fun.
Okay, no, say no more. That's all I want to know.
The combat was a little bit clunky, and the way I'm saying it makes it sound like everything sucks about it, which is not true. It just, like I said, and like Chris said, lacks a little bit of polish that you would normally find on a AAA game of this type. But it has all these factions. You're trying to, well, at the end, you don't need to, but I wanted to get all these factions on my side for the final battle, which was cool. And I was satisfied with the ending that I got in the game.
Okay. Is this a game you're going to play every year?
Probably not.
Okay, one and done.
But I'd play it again in maybe like 2 years or something once I kind of forget about it.
Okay.
Like I just did with Mass Effect Andromeda. Kind of forget about everything and then replay it.
Do it again.
If I need a game to play, I could do that again and do a different class, make some different choices.
Okay. Well, maybe one day I'll check it out.
Yeah. I mean, the ending at least wrapped things up nicely. And at least for me, I was satisfied with it. And I enjoyed my hours in this game. My only complaint also, that I've said my only complaint, and there's multiple complaints, but my only complaint is, man, there's a lot of walking. It's like, feel like the fast travel wasn't super effective. A lot of walking, a lot of running.
Just enjoy the game.
I know.
It's a journey.
It was a journey, and I felt like I'd accomplished something at the end. Like, man, I really overcame a lot of stuff. My character is the legate, aka the diplomatic representative of the merchant congregation.
Okay. Right, you told, but it's like the pirate bro, right?
No, those are the knots.
Oh, right, not naughty.
I like the knots. In the end, I got them to be my friend, but they didn't like me for a long time, and it kind of bummed me out. But anyways, that's about it. Besides Link's Awakening, which we're going to talk right now.
Well,
or actually, no, not right now.
Not.
I lied. After this, LTN Con is in 1 week.
Word from our sponsor, us.
LTN Con is in 1 week. We're the sponsor. If you haven't registered by now,
you are running out of time.
You're really running out of time.
You just need you need to do this. And when you register, if you mention that the Freeplay Podcast sent you, it's $10 extra. So don't.
Yeah, you pay $10 extra.
Yeah, don't mention us.
So actually, yeah, don't mention us. But yeah, if you're gonna go, you got to register like right now because it's happening soon. What is LTN Con, you might be asking, if you've never heard this before? Well, it's the first ever conference hosted by us. Love Thy Nerd.
Me?
Yeah, ever heard of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you want to learn how to love and serve your nerdy neighbors better, like Jesus would, then this is for you. There's no other conference like this that we know of. We'll be playing a ton of games, nerding out over all kinds of things, and there's going to be sessions from each of the founders. So that means Matt will be speaking, and you will get the once-in-a-lifetime chance to see that.
Well, maybe once in a lifetime. Probably it's not once in a lifetime because I'm speaking at a missions festival in Seattle.
Well, you ruined that.
Okay, once in the inaugural LTN Con lifetime.
Yes, there it is.
First one.
So head over to ltncon.info to see all the information you'll need to know about it. And if you want to register, do it now.
Beep, 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 beep. Hey, we have some nerdy news that
we have some nerdy news.
Yeah, we try to keep up to date on all the things nerdy, and we do all right. We get some things. We know some stuffs, right?
Some stuff.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Sure. Kate, what do you got?
Yeah. Well, what happened recently within the past week or so is Apple Arcade and Google Play Pass. What is that, you say? Well, subscription services for Apple and Google we'll cover some of the differences. I'll talk about Apple first because that's the newest one, even though they were announced and released like a week apart. Anyways, Apple Arcade has unlimited access to 100 plus new games that are rolling out this fall, all in one subscription. And you could get these games on iPhone, iPad, Mac, Apple TV, and use all those from the same account. Access for up to 6 family members. So that's like all your kids right there.
I didn't realize it was Apple TV as well.
Yes. So that's kind of cool, you know, like any game, you could just play it on whatever Apple device you have.
It makes me...
And then the obvious, like no ads, no additional purchases, blah, blah, blah.
What kind of games are you talking about here?
Well, that was my question. Because when you say the word games, I'm like, what does Apple know about games?
Well, I mean,
don't they make phones?
Is this going to be like Google Stadia in some ways? Like, you can play games anywhere?
Kind of. Like, that's what I was thinking when I read this and thinking about kind of what that would mean, like these subscription services. So Apple has teamed up with some of the world's most visionary developers, they say. And I'm like, who's that then?
Sega.
Yeah, Sega, Capcom, Annapurna, Lego. They only had a couple examples on there, just starter ones, and said that more games are coming in the fall and more games will constantly be coming out for it. So, but there are some like indie games out right now that you can play on these, on this Apple Arcade thing.
I don't know.
Me either, but it's $4.99 a month with a free 1-month trial. So it'd probably be worth it if you're super into indie games.
It'd be worth it if I like actually playing games on my phone.
I know. I don't like playing games on my phone.
There's very few I like to play on there. It's just difficult. Maybe if I had a controller. People use controllers for their phone games, right?
Yeah. Do they?
They have like that little thing that plugs into the bottom of it and you like... little controller.
Yeah,
that's what I would enjoy.
I can't really think of any game that I have enjoyed playing on my phone besides Duolingo.
That's not a game.
And that's not a game at all. But yeah, so there's the Apple Arcade subscription service. Then you have the Google Play Pass, which is a little bit different.
Okay.
It has, instead of saying, here's 100 games, there's 100 games that are going to come out and you get access to those. Their thing is, okay, there's 350 Android games and apps that you can use, bundled for $4.99 a month. So it's kind of like a set chunk of stuff.
I mean, maybe...
And that's counting apps, too, like...
Yeah.
Like, what apps?
Flappy Birds.
Maybe.
Angry Birds.
Let's up to 5 family members, 10 days free. Oh, you can get your whole first year for $1.99 a month.
Yeah, man.
But Google Play Pass says Stardew Valley you can get as part of it.
You're in. Get that golden clock.
Limbo, Risk, Monument Valley, some more indie games, but
it's not.
There seems like 2 competing subscription services for mobile games and apps.
It's not something I'm going to just jump into. I don't foresee me ever doing that unless that's the way the games start to go. Only that way. I don't know. I just feel like there are almost too many subscription services out there.
That's exactly how I feel.
And I mean, I get it. There needs to be some choices, but it's just too much.
It's just a lot. And like, although some people, their primary way of gaming is through their phone or iPad.
Right.
Like my grandma, for instance. Maybe I should tell her about this. She
might.
plays some kind of word game where it gives you a bunch of letters and you have to make X amount of words.
Oh, like
and then
Boggle?
She gets stuck. Yeah, and then she gets stuck and asks my grandpa for help, and then he doesn't know, so then she has to ask somebody else.
Call you.
Because she doesn't want to spend her little coins. So maybe this would be a good fit for Gammy if she wanted to play more games, because it says no in-app purchases, so maybe she could get unlimited coins.
Well, Gammy, if you get it, let us know. We want to know.
Yeah, I'll have her do a review about it if she
would
gets
you?
it.
Have her write one up.
I don't think she'll get it. She'll have to ask me to set it up for her.
She might get it.
But I don't know. Maybe somebody who's listening to this is interested in this and is like, yay, I want to play games on my phone and pay less.
I want to
for
see
them.
the games.
I don't know.
I just want to see the games. Give me some better ones than like the 3 you've listed.
How about The Witcher on your phone?
I don't think it was going to work out.
I don't know how that would work.
I want Doom only. Just kidding.
How about Assassin's Creed? I could take anywhere. Pocket Assassin's Creed.
Take
That's
your freaking
exactly
Switch. Your Switch is a pocket. Get a Switch Lite.
I know. That's why. Why would you? Why? I mean, I'm not gonna hate on anybody who gets these, but why would you do this when there's such a thing as a Switch?
The cost point.
Well, I guess that is true. So
That's
never
about
mind.
it. That's your only excuse, okay?
Yeah, because a lot of these games, the ones that at least, let's see, the ones that Apple Arcade said, those developers, and then the ones from Google Play Pass, you could get Stardew Valley.
Yep. Stardew's
anything.
everywhere now.
It is. It's the hotness.
It was the hotness.
It will always be the hotness.
Well, that's a little bit of
I don't
news.
know.
That's a little bit of news from us. Let us know what you think, because
Yeah.
we are not professional app game players on our phones. I can text pretty well, and I can like a picture on my phone. Me and Gammy.
2 things.
Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah, could do 2 things. But let's talk about what we're really here to talk about
Seriously.
today.
Let's get to
The
it.
true hotness.
Yeah.
Link's Awakening.
It's finally here.
It is here.
Well, we'll get into it. You want to talk about a party, right?
I want to know every detail of a specific party that happened that involves you and your family.
Yeah. Whenever there's a game release that most of the family enjoys, or if we finish a Harry Potter book, we like to throw a themed party. And so with Link's Awakening, this is no exception. I went to the store, I got some juice, and we made some red potion juice that everyone had. We made Aaron made pretzels, and we shaped them into Zelda-themed things, like Triforce. I know the Triforce is not in this game. Spoiler alert.
But whatever, it's a Zelda thing.
Right. Palm trees. Usually there's a master sword. Most of my kids end up dressing up or making their own cosplay. Margot, while we were playing, made a Mara. I think her name's Mara. Marin, there we go.
Marin Cornbeer.
She made a Marin cosplay
Marin.
just like on the floor while we were playing the game. So just everyone's super excited and just like really getting into the theme of the evening. So we played a lot. We played a lot that first day. We all took several turns and watched each other and had more snacks. And I got some triangle shaped crackers, and we ate them with hummus, because Triforce
I
stuff.
saw that because I asked for pictures of your party for my own viewing and also
Right.
to post on the social media for Love Thy Nerd.
So if you want to see those photos, head over to Love Thy Nerd on any of these social media things.
Yes, it's all there.
It's all there. It's all there. It's all there. Okay, what do you think of the game?
So far, I love it. The last Zelda game that I played was Breath of the Wild. Didn't finish it. I'm sorry. I'll get around to it.
You did to me.
And then before that, Link to the Past. So it's
Wow.
been a while for me.
You're a little all over that's that Link to the Past and to Breath of the Wild. It
was a big jump.
that's a long gap. Were you even alive when Link to the Past was released?
No.
Yes, you were.
I don't know. When did it come out? I played it when I was in middle school on Game Boy Advance.
It came out in 1992, 4, 3.
Okay, well, I was alive. This one
Barely.
came out. Link's Awakening originally came out in 93.
Yep.
So I was 2 years old. Couldn't play it then.
That's
So I'm playing
your
it
fault.
now.
That's why we're making Penny play now. No, just kidding.
Well, I like it, but I did start to get panicked before I bought it because I had read a comment from someone somewhere saying, oh, it's $60 for 10 hours of
Oh,
gameplay.
no
That's
way.
not worth it.
There's no way.
That's not worth it. And then that's why I texted you saying, is this true?
No.
And you said, no, it's not.
I'm about the halfway mark. I just got my fourth instrument. Need to collect these musical instruments. And I've probably played for 15 hours, I would say. Right about. But I also, I really take my time. Not that I'm being slow, but I like to explore and to look and to figure out different puzzles all across the island. Find those heart pieces. So just being able to enjoy it fully. And I am enjoying it fully. It's one of those games, and I think I mentioned last week that I haven't played the whole thing through. I played it, my neighbor I think had it, and I think I played maybe up to the second dungeon before. So I knew very little bit about it. I remember the bow wow in front of the lady's house. I remember... That's about it, really.
But this is new territory now for you, where you're at in the game.
Yeah, this is all new territory. And I really, really like the fact that Nintendo brought back a classic game that not everyone got to play, because not everyone had a Game Boy, sadly, and got this game. At least I didn't. So I like that. I like the idea that this is something that they're going to do again, because there are a couple other Game Boy games that I didn't get a chance to play, like Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. So I hope that they continue this trend and even re-release Skyward Sword on a system that maybe actually can handle it. Anyways, we're not talking about all these Zelda games. Go ahead.
I'll tell you where I'm at, because you'll know. I just got to the point where I got past the raccoon.
Okay, yep.
In the forest.
Yep.
Oh, also, when I turned it on and it was all loaded, started the game, and it was just at the intro screen with the music playing.
Yeah.
It made me so happy that I just let it.
The music is
playing.
Great. Yeah, the music is great.
Oh, it's so good. I just let it loop. It made me want to get my violin out of the closet.
You should have. Record yourself.
I'll make a little mixtape.
Of
me playing the violin, but I really, really, really love, so far what I've heard at least, how they're doing with the music. It's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like all the Zelda games have really great music, and I don't know. I just, like you said, like you just kind of, it makes you happy. It kind of like takes you away almost. Like you're in another place, and like you really could be, I don't know, on an island somewhere. And yeah, it's all good. The music. What about the graphic style?
I saw some people complaining about like that tilt shift effect that has the blur at the top and the bottom.
Yeah. I also saw some complaints about that.
But I like it. It's part of I don't have any issue with it. I think the graphics are very whimsical.
Yeah. And I think I don't want to spoil it. I know this game's been out
since 1993.
Yeah, a very long time. If you don't know, I think once you get into the game more, you're going to understand why those blurry spots on the screen are like, they work and they make sense. I never had any issue with it. It didn't make me ill. Maybe they're playing handheld and that's the difference. Or I've been playing on my TV.
Oh, really? That was my next question, is which way are you playing? Because I'm playing handheld.
Okay, you are. Okay, I've been playing on the screen. I haven't played handheld once. I don't know. I've been using my Pro controller, which I forgot how freaking good those things are. Like that charge.
Dang.
Like the charge on those are just so good.
Maybe I'll need to try it, because I have the Pro controller. I hardly ever play on the TV, but
Steven wants to watch
I saw you post that. Well, he did say, do you want to use the TV for your game? And I said no. And I was sitting on the couch playing a handheld. So I should have taken advantage of that moment and said yes and used the Pro controller, which I hardly ever use, sadly.
Yeah. Well, try it on the TV. Maybe it'll be different. Maybe you'll hate it because of the blur. Whimsical blurry effect.
Maybe, but I thought, what was that other one? Four Swords?
Yeah.
Did you ever see that?
Yeah, Four Swords Adventures.
The ones was that like the multiplayer on Link to the Past or something?
Yeah. You're the four.
I'm really reaching back in my memory, so I don't remember
it's
that
on
good.
Game
But I
Boy.
thought that was really
GameCube.
cute, and some aspects of this make me think of that.
I'm glad you went there and not Triforce Heroes, because that
No.
game is not a real Zelda game. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, I think that overall, like, the game is worth the money. Just being able to, I think Breath of the Wild was great. It was, totally different than any other Zelda game. The fact that there weren't dungeons, so it's really nice. And maybe it's like the nostalgia kicking in, but being able to go and like just explore dungeons. It's like this dungeons, and I can see where people like played Breath of the Wild and didn't like that there weren't dungeons. I mean, you had the shrines, but they were pretty short.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that it came at the right time in the Zelda series, and especially like Breath of the Wild 2 is coming. I'm going to guess that's probably more like the first one. But only time will tell. I hear that there's a new
Only time will
new
tell.
Zelda game coming out every year from now until forever.
Be cool.
I'm in for that.
So we will see. But I did pay 10 rupees to do the crane game, and it was a waste because I didn't understand how to use it.
Oh, really? I wasted my very first one because I didn't know how it went. And then from there, I've been killing it. No problem.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That gives me hope because I read a whole bunch of angry tweets today about the crane game.
Tell them to get good. My daughter, she's 7 years old. She kills it on that thing. Like, kills it. Like, she puts us all to shame. No, I mean, I'm
That
getting
gives me
stuff.
hope.
Like, I'll miss 1 out of 6 times maybe, but for the most part, I'm on it. And there's some stuff there you're gonna want to get with the crane. And maybe that's what people.
The Yoshi doll. There's a Yoshi doll there. That's very beginning.
That's the very first one of many you're gonna want to grab. So
I better. It's true. I better get good at it.
get good or don't get heart pieces.
I want them though.
Well, I'm sorry. You'll have to forget about them. So on a scale of 1 to 10 Kates here, what do you got?
It's too early.
Preliminary.
Okay, preliminary scale. I would say I would have to give it 10 out of 10 Kates preliminarily.
I think that's not a real word.
That's why I said it slowly so that I don't know.
So Clausen can beep it out.
so Clausen can beep it
Yeah.
out. No, whatever before
Literally.
I'm gonna give it 10 out of 10 so far because it just really captures that spirit of, like I said, whimsical. That's like the best word I could think of to describe it. Is
I
like
agree.
That whimsicalness, that the way the music changes and like fits certain things. The way when I go into the forest, all of a sudden it changes the vibe, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I just love it. Like it's so true to itself.
Yeah. I think that the music just sucks you in. The art just sucks you in. And I didn't mention, like, there's no loading. Like, not that there would be loading. Like, even like, I guess I'm thinking about old Zelda games where like it was kind of like a screen by screen. Like, you moved up, you hit the next screen, and you had to move to it. With this, like, it's
And the screen would like move
and
too.
this game doesn't have it. So when
I noticed that too.
the first time I thought it was going to happen, I was like, oh, it's just, especially like you're going into the forest, you're like, it's going to be this weird, like, chop down, like,
yeah, but it
was
wasn't.
very smooth, just like you're in, and it was awesome. And I think when that happens, you kind of like, you're taken out of the moment, I think. So for them to remove that kind of like keeps you going, keeps you in it. Combat has been pretty easy for me. I should have maybe done hero mode. But I don't know if
it's fun.
Yeah, it's just fun.
I love
easy.
it.
Like, there's a lot of satisfaction in chopping bushes.
That's what I spent when I first started. I spent an embarrassing amount of time chopping bushes and grass.
Mm-hmm. Well, you gotta get a Skrilla.
And just going like down the beach and smashing people with my sword, and then going back to the grass and the bushes and just chopping and chopping and chopping everything. The town looked kind of jacked.
Well, then you just
at
change
one point,
screens.
but then
Yeah.
you just
You're
and it all grows back miraculously.
Oh man, Link can just make a fortune there. I would give it a 9.5.
Oh.
And I think, and that can change still. I think the more I'm getting into it, like the more you kind of like learning the other characters in the game, they're giving you a little bit more story, kind of like what you're doing, why you're doing it. I think it's going to continue. Like, I don't know. I think there's still room to go up. But I think 9.5. I think it's a solid 9.5.
Mm-hmm. I'm just excited to play this game. I was grinding the end of Greedfall so that I could play this game. And even though I read that comment about the quote unquote short playtime, is it worth the money, which is the topic we talked about last week, just, I don't know. Just thinking about it right now, and the music playing is making me like smile and be like, oh, that is the best theme song ever in all the world and all the history of gaming. And just hearing it again in a new way, in a new arrangement. They literally had a cajon playing in that intro one. If you hear it, I thought that was really interesting. And I'm like, that's an interesting take.
No, this game is about instruments. They had to do something cool with instruments. I wish I remembered how the Game Boy one. I guess I can just go listen to probably
YouTube it.
Probably. And how they did it there, like, because, it's a limited sound. So this just seems very full and well done.
It does. It does. Ugh,
10 out of 10.
It makes me so happy.
10 out of 10
I just
on the sound for sure. Well, let's hurry this thing up and go play it. Jeesh. Hey, if you're playing this game,
okay, we're done.
If you're playing this game, tell us what you think. Is it the best since sliced bread? Is it as good as it was when it came out in 1993?
Yeah, did you play it in 1993?
And
who played it in 93?
And is it worth the money? Like, I think this is that's something we can kind of continue from, thing to thing we talk about. Like, is it worth the money? At this point, I'd say yes. Even if the game ends up being 30 hours, I think it's worth it. Let us know what you think. Is this game overhyped? Do you think that this game is not worth anyone's time? We just want to carry this conversation on into the comments, and you can find us anywhere on all the social medias. Just tell us what you think, because we want to have conversations.
Yes.
Any final thoughts, Kate?
No. Just get good, everybody.
Get good or get to bed. And that'll do it for episode 67.
Wow.
67. Like, we're closing in on one hundo in several months.
We should have a Zelda party.
I love it. A free play Zelda party. Be sure to check us out on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube. That's in the US and Canada. Radio.com and anywhere else podcasts are found. And if you can't find us where you listen to your podcasts or wherever you listen to your stuff, just let us know. We'll try to do our best. But we're not going to put it on that one that we don't like. And if you're not a part of the Love Thy Nerd Facebook group, just do that thing. Just search for it, Love Thy Nerd, on Facebook. Join the community. Find the memes. Talk to us about games, life, Zelda, whatever.
Anything.
Yeah, and you can also find Love Thy Nerd on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and that's at Love Thy Nerd. And you can find us on Twitter at Freeplay Podcast. And Kate, she did post one.
I made one post. We should probably take that off of the
No, never. You bug us. Somebody get on your Twitter and you bug us until we.
Yeah, you could tweet me and say, "Why are you not doing a simple task?"
Good.
Get good.
I think that's it. So we'll be off next week. We'll be back the following week. And if you're not coming to LTN Con, shame on you. Wait, we'll miss you. And you still have a little time to get there. If you live in Texas or Dallas, we're just right there. If you have questions about that, send us a message. Matt at lovethynerd.com, Kate at lovethynerd.com. We'd love to give you the info. You can ask all the questions. But I think that's going to do it.
I think so.
Okay,
too.
I'm Matt Warmbier.
And I'm Kate Katawaki.
And for Bubs and for our cut man, Jonathan Clausen, we'll catch you next week. And remember, Jesus loves you, nerd.
You have been listening to the Freeplay Podcast with Bubba Stallcup, Matt Warmbier, and Kate Katawaki, part of the Love Thy Nerd Podcast Network. Be sure to rate and review the show and share on all the social media.
Now, boom, boom, boom. I already pressed it.